Hi everyone, a very good afternoon. And I warmly welcome you all to day one event, second half of the day. So we'll be starting our, first session of the second day with an interesting topic on agile and sales and marketing, which is a panel discussion. So we have Nidhi and Karthik who will be moderating the session, and our panelists for the day would be Kamlesh Devaliya, Tarak Joshi, Vishal Jariwala, and Ashok Karania. Just before we start off the session, let me quickly thank our founding sponsor, Innovation Roots, which is a leading consulting and training service provider, helping organizations to achieve business agility and beyond. It is one of the leaders and pioneers of niche publishing services and is well known for content collaboration with global thought leaders, authors, and creators. For more details, you may refer to www.innovationroots.com. I would like to thank our sponsor, Agile. Agile is a product offering from Tata Consultancy Service Limited. It is a purely cloud-based enterprise agile planning tool along with DevOps capabilities. Enterprises can use Agile to adopt agile practices or scale across multiple Scrum and Kanban teams using enterprise scaling frameworks such as SAFe, Disciplined Agile, Less, and more. You can try out Agile for free up to 20 users for 30 days by signing up at gile.io or reach out to us for any exclusive product demos. Check out the Agile page on Agile Network India website for more information, and the link is posted on the chat box. Quick do's and don'ts for all our participants. Request you all to join the event 5 minutes before the start time. I would request you all to use high quality speakers or headphones for better sound quality. Please keep your microphones muted and videos disabled as this may cause disturbance and bandwidth issues. Questions will be taken via chat box. Please enter your questions in the chat box. At the end of the session, the facilitator or moderator will help and read out few questions to the speaker as per the time availability. Request you all to fill in the feedback form after the event, which will help us understand more about the event management. We appreciate your cooperation. So with no further delay, let me call upon Karthik and Nidhi, who will be facilitating the panel discussion for today. Over to you, Karthik and Nidhi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Navina, for a brief introduction on innovation roots. And I'll just quickly introduce myself. Karthik Dokai, holding probably a decade plus years of experience into IT industry now and transform myself from QA to a digital transformations, which makes me a passionate guy with regards to having a passion on product digital transformations and working on a multiple domains, starting from hospitality, retail, banking, and healthcare. I'm a speaker for an IIM Rohtak. Recently completed my speech on at IIM Rohtak on Agile in Sales and Marketing. I am associated with Agile Network India from past more than a year, and this is my second panel discussion, but this time on a different side of our table as a moderator. So thank you, and probably looking forward for a good insightful session.
Hey everyone, Nidhi here. I have more than 13 years of experience in the IT industry and I have been a part of Agile India Network since a year. But this time we are going to explore a topic which I have never been a part of before, so this is going to be very interesting.
Hello everyone. My name is Kamlesh from Bytes Technolab. It's almost been decade now consulting businesses and individuals for growth with innovative solutions, digital solutions and services. Also helping internal team for right approach strategies into the sales and marketing. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, hi everyone. So thank you for having me here. Thanks Karthik, Nidhi, and the team. So this is Tarak, and I lead business and customer experience journeys at Agile Technologies as a vice president. It has been nearly a decade and a half now, and this is mainly in the lines of customer journey building, helping them with the right frame of solutions and things like that. So I'm good to be part of this, and look forward to a great, interesting discussion ahead.
Hey everyone, this is Vishal. Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you, Karthik, for introducing and giving me the chance to be part of this discussion. I am associated with India Nick Infotech Limited as a senior business development manager. I have almost 9+ years of experience in international sales and strategy, client relationship, and coming from a technical background, my approach is always solution driven for consulting with value addition. So I look forward for a healthy panel discussion over here. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone, on a Saturday afternoon before Diwali. Thanks, Karthik. Thanks, Nidhi, and the Agile Network India, for this kind invitation. The name's Ashok. I've been in this industry for almost 16 plus years now and had experience around strategy, sales. Worked with the Fortune 100 companies as well as startups in their journey towards digital. I really cherish new market developments, looking at innovative business models, and really passionate about making sales marketing strategy as simple as it can be. Thank you, and looking forward to healthy discussions.
Great, great, awesome. So we have a probably an healthy panels and probably we can take it up from here. So just wanted to set up a context before we move ahead for our panel discussions, right? So as we all know that we are here to talk and learn more about Agile and how Agile can play a vital role in sales and marketing business vertical. As I was speaking to a few of my friends who are now in entrepreneurs, and probably I was talking with them on an Agile that how probably Agile can play a vital role in sales and marketing, and everyone was like, we are Agile. So I like probably in Agile practitioners, I tend to ask them why, how did you felt that you guys are doing an Agile, probably incorporating an Agile practices in sales and marketing business vertical. So as usual, their answers was like. We address customers' queries in few hours, but probably all we know that unfortunately that's not only Agile, right? Because Agile it's not only about speed, but it's more about productivity, customer centricity, quality, along with speed at a sustainable pace, right? And just to give you a glimpse on Agile in sales and marketing, it all started from 2012. And as they felt that Agile can actually add a value in sales and marketing because Agile got initiated from probably in automobile industry, and slowly and gradually the software industry has adopted that. So giving high level stats based on my research from Agile Share was that 51% of in organizations are actually in Agile in probably in sales and marketing. 36% are still actually traditional way of doing sales and marketing, and 13% are adopt like whatever they're getting on the way, they're picking it up and going moving forward. So probably not wasting much of our time, and we'll hear from all the four panelists who have well versed experience into Agile and sales and marketing. We'll get some more insights from them because they are actually doing sales and marketing day in and day out from the past more than a decade, right? So probably Nidhi, over to you if you can just kick it off from here.
Yeah, so frankly speaking, this is going to be very interesting because whenever we say agile, we just talk about the software development. But right now we have the giants in sales and marketing who are going to talk about the agile. So I'm very excited. So I will start with the question to the Vishal. Vishal, do you feel a shift in a mindset with regards to agile would help in the sales and marketing business verticals?
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is a very interesting topic, as I say, because when someone says agile, it's totally the one thing that pitches in your mind is it's about production, it's about software development, and how this is implemented in sales. But as you see, sales is a game of numbers, and we all love numbers in that sense, especially when it is growing and it's on the positive end. In the traditional approach, I'll come in the traditional approach. If you go for sales process, this can be rigid, and when it has the option of the approach that is there, the process is quite like a waterfall, which is like starting something. It has like 6 months, 3 months of time window. And in that sense, when you look into the agile aspect, it's basically a mindset. It's not a direct process or there's something that you can implement. When it comes to a mindset, which you rightly said, it's more like a team effort, so which has the option of review and retrospect. So in that particular aspect, whenever you look into a sales target or something that you want to achieve, usually the prior to a couple of years ago, the sales was more driven in like a goal based approach, where the people were not thinking about the process or how you want to take the route. All the idea was to reach to a destination. Agile helps you to give how the route can be taken, or what kind of an approach you take, what tool you use, so that at least you reach to your destination with a more with a better output, and if your fuel efficiency is right in the place. So if you look into that particular aspect, it's not a one person focusing on everything. It's a well defined team approach. And if you consider one of the two like Scrum or Kanban, then with Scrum you get defined into sprints and look into what is the outcome. After following the steps in the sprint, there is a priority task that has been defined to each and every individual person. They complete it, they come together, assemble it, get it reviewed by the overall team, and after retrospecting that, there are elements of improvisation. There are options where you can change quickly, and as the nature of agile, you able to understand, learn, adapt, and change according to how the evolving nature of the environment is. You move in that particular direction. So this is how it changes the overall approach in sales and marketing, in the business vertical. It's not just to the production part, but sales is also adapting, because the sales that used to happen, the marketing strategies that used to define where and now, because the market is globalized, and there are a lot of good technology leaders in the market, and things are evolving, and the minimalist culture that is coming up, agile is the one that everyone needs to adapt and learn, and that's the reason we are here for today.
Uh, yeah, awesome. Great, great. So, thanks again for Vishal for sharing this insightful, probably more insights on shift in a mindset and probably how it can help sales and marketing business verticals if you're adapting and agile. So, I have a follow-up question for
Yeah,
Tarak over
if I, just an impromptu reaction, right? In the interest of just adding to what Vishal said, right? If you really look at the whole marketing approach also which happens, right, and why agile adopts, right, uh, the gone are the days of traditional marketing pray and spray, right? It's getting more about one-on-one interaction experience, right? We hear concepts about A/B testing. We hear concepts about what are the different ways the leads are coming, how you are nurturing them, and I think even if you look at the agile mindset which everyone spoke about, right? The whole manifesto of agile starts with satisfy customer, do retrospect, do communication, and that's where the whole sales marketing team comes together and it becomes marketing, right? So I agree with Vishal, absolutely great areas. One aspect also which we'll maybe touch upon later, the whole retrospect. How do you do a retrospect? He spoke about Scrum, he spoke about Kanban. Even look at tools like Salesforce, which everyone must be looking at, or a CRM. How do you look at the CRM together in the room? What is the retrospect and the review do you do of a CRM? What are the questions you ask? Because I believe if you ask the right questions, you get the right answers, and that's what all agile is about: communication, transparency, visibility, and everyone together. So I believe that sales is made for agile by the very nature of it, right? And I think let's build on that.
Fair, fair. Fair enough. Thank you, Ashok, and thank you, Vishal, for sharing probably more insights on that. But I do have a follow-up question for Tarak on that. Right. So, Tarak, being into and CS in marketing from more than half a decade years of experience, do you feel that event of Scrum and Kanban, like such as a review or retrospective, can add a value to sales and marketing, and probably if yes, how it can add a value to this business vertical?
Yes, certainly. So again, I think fellow colleagues have added on to the importance of agile in sales, right? So I think if you look at the current scenario, I think we all live in the information age, right? So if you look at the perspective from how conventionally the buyers were looking at to a typical sales life cycle, and now the things have drastically changed. So the whole buyer's perspective or buyer persona that we call it usually in sales has emerged and has completely, I think refined. So more than ever before, I think sales is more vulnerable towards the conventional sides if we don't address the real-time informed decision by making, which is happening and it is more prevalent right now. So I think the idea of the fundamentals within agile and then the idea of having them incorporated in sales is I think inevitable. I think it is very intrinsic for us to have this core fundamentals implemented. So when we look at flexibility, when we look at data, when we look at short-term goals, like Michelle sort of spoke about. So these are the core fundamentals that looks at making the sales life cycle a bit more effective, and it also adds to a significant rise in the productivity. Not just when we look at, so typically a Scrum would let and foster in the idea of collaboration. So this is nowhere an individual game, but you would go with a waterfall set of mindset, with a refined set of ideas and things like that. But when you look at Scrum and then review and take forward the whole data sort of record management practice, like the fellow Ashok spoke about. So I think CRM facilitates that. I think we are in the better shape when you talk about implementation strategy with Agile. So with these CRMs coming in, we are able to sort of control the succession planning within that sales life cycle. So when you talk about typical stages involved, when you talk about journey from suspects to prospects, prospects to leads, leads to opportunities, and then to contract, I think the way we measure a typical sales life cycle is the progression within each sales stage, and the way we do it is through these measurement mechanics, right? So as they say, I think what you can't measure you can't improve. So more than ever before, I feel these are inevitable areas for sales, and I think that's the way forward.
Great. Thank you,
Uh,
Tarak. Thank you so much for sharing a probably and good insights on how probably and events can add a value if we start incorporating these events, because like Agile is probably not just evolving with the speed, but it's evolving with probably the learnings as well, and the learnings can only be measured and can be taken away when we do review and retrospect into sales and probably sales and marketing cycles, right? That's great. Great for awesome insights on that.
Yeah, really good, great insight here. But I do have a one question about this new normal, the pandemic, which is now it's been like it's 2 years, and we are now all used to the new normal. So I just want to know how it has impacted sales and marketing at any time. If you guys have ever feel like if we might had some process in place, it might have had some value to your team or yourself. So, Kamlesh, if I can get your views on that.
Sure, Nidhi. So, if I talk about my journey of the pandemic, honestly saying, it brought a lot of opportunity, especially to the IT services, right? Initially, we were a bit concerned and about the challenges, but later on, it turned into our favor, right? Especially due to the lockdown and everything. Now, due to heavy workload and work from home situation, is what it was quite difficult to serve each client with the qualities. Definitely, in that case, processes help you a lot to delegate and define a work properly, right? And we can delegate the work with processes to the colleagues and teammates. But the thing is, here in terms of my view, I would say that agility will help a more, because it's a method, it's a practice, right? And when something you put in a practice, or use some methodology, definitely it will help you to define a work and so in a good manner. So with a process, definitely we can delegate, but with uh, agile by its nature, it gives a opportunity, and it gives a freedoms to take a responsibilities. And these were definitely with not a specific standards or structure, but without that, it gives each individual a freedoms and responsibility to take it and play it, right? And this way, uh, we can each individual has a different skill set, and they can use that and survive that. So I guess methodology and process both together work a lot.
Yeah, very well said. We need both, and we need a balance to make it
Yeah.
work. So, Ashok, if you have anything to share over here about the pandemic and how it impacted.
Yeah, absolutely. So the pandemic has been a real booster for all IT businesses, and everybody has been having a record growth, right? Suddenly, a lot of people who were on fences started doing business with you. So what it resulted? Resulted in lots of leads, resulted in lots of people willing to talk to you, resulted in lots of people had time from work from home, they had to make decisions. So in general, the traffic, the volume across the sales side was increasing. Uh, and the organizations were not prepared for it, because typically, and I'm speaking of enterprise sale, right? There are of course different nuances. The how does the organization deal with this? Because in enterprise sales, the hunters or the salespeople, they try to keep a lot of information to themselves. It's like a tribal knowledge, right? uh, uh, what we did in real this scenario, right? How Agile helped, right? First is we set up a lot of war room, right? The whole idea is that we are getting so many leads. As a business, you cannot say no to them, right? Because this is your opportunity to grow the business. So how do you address those? At the same time, how do you ensure that the customer is satisfied with your response? So there are a few things which happened. One was, as I said, we created a war room. The whole idea was to bring all the knowledge to the common repositories, right? So that's why the communication, the transparency came into picture. We created a lot of toolkits, we created a lot of FAQs, we created a lot of distribution of the work. A lot of the people who were technical project managers, we upgraded them to become customer reps, become customer success managers. So there was a lot of changes which were happening, right? uh, the whole idea, the whole idea of challenging the traditional sales process of how, what are the different approval cycles you have, bring everybody in the same room so the approval happens twice a week at the same time. Transparency of data. Light of times in organization, the data is siloed and it moves from one department to another like a waterfall, right? Here we said, let's open up our sales force to the delivery, let's open our sales force to the legal, let's open our sales force to the finance, so all the necessary approvals can happen, people have more visibility, right? So that is something which happened, and I'm very glad to say that in within a year we had about doubling of our revenues, we had acquisitions happening, and those acquisitions also brought complexity because people came from different crms, from different mindset. But this whole idea of having these war rooms where we had constant communication, creation of common repositories, breaking down the organizational silos, and people talking to each other and trusting. Because here also one of the thing in sales, it's about numbers. My pipeline should not be seen by other. What deal I am working on should not be seen by other. What is the deal value I am working on? Should not. Will that person look at my lead? So this is a big mindset. So the transparency was a big thing. We guys are in 12 together. So even if there's a team working together, you need to make sure that their concerns with regard to incentives, bonuses, credits are also taken care of. But I'm very glad that the whole pandemic forced people to think very differently, and we were able to bring out a lot of changes which are now going to help us to scale. And we believe this is the way to look at the digital sales. When people are traveling less, when the customer meetings are happening less, how do you look at this? So I think there are a lot of things which happen, and I really believe uh, you know we went to the level next with the agility and created a scalable organizational structure.
Great. So, Ashok, I have a follow-up question for you. As you rightly mentioned in this statement that breaking up the organization silos, right? And that's actually a vital, probably we can say it for any setting up a culture for any of an organizations, precisely in sales and marketing, because we have in silos that the probably an enterprise representatives, right, or customer representatives always say that I need to take an approval from my manager, right? And probably this is a kind of a thing where probably we guys need to actually go back and speak to our managers. Until that time the leads might be assigned to some other organizations, and probably the lead might get closed, right? There are certain chances, not probably not, if I say not in an enterprise customers, but definitely if we are not working with an enterprise customers, right, and addressing the mid-size and a small size organizations where people are not working on enterprise customers, but they are working on a small projects with regards to 25K dollars or probably more than that. So how actually you have probably redefined the culture, entire culture, because setting up a right culture is actually a vital role in this as well. So how did you manage that part in pandemic?
So first of all, it's a process, right? The journey is still on, Karthik, to be very honest, right? Because there are always different kinds of individuals in sales, right? Somebody come from the IBM sales school of thought, somebody coming from a completely different sales school thought, right? So there are different things. So it's still a journey. But I think what we really did was, the focus was on specialization. First of all, the focus was, let's everyone do, and what we made is we made it a cluster, right?
Okay.
So anything in healthcare, this is a cluster which will look into this. So within a cluster there are 3 4 individuals and not just one individual. Then there's a cluster which is looking at financial deals, there's a cluster which is looking at internet deals, And in this customers, like what we call as extreme programming or a pair programming or putting three in a sandbox, we had representation from the subject matter experts, the domain experts, pre-sales, and the sales people, so come together, right? And the onus was on that cluster, so that collaborativeness really helped. Also, putting the opening up the tools, opening up the crms, opening up the the jira, opening up everything, created the transparency that where is the bottleneck. And every week we would review. So what was essentially a wall of fame, if people don't act, it also becomes a wall of shame, right? That okay, this is stuck up there. So that peer pressure, that competitiveness, that whole transparency really helped us. And also we empowered. I think there were times, as you rightly said, in the organization, beyond a certain authority, people will review, so we did it. If it is a deal which is less than $50,000, we don't need approval from this level, right? If it is a deal which is this level, then we'll only have two meetings to look at it. And we also set certain principles. We also defined, what can help the finance, the legal, the delivery to sign off on deals, right? So we also defined those processes, and we give empowerment that if you don't hear in 2 days, consider it approved. And the new mantra in our organization is, we are ready to say sorry, but rather than please, right? Because okay, I did it, I went ahead with it. We're ready to say sorry rather than waiting for, did you guys act on the follow up and saying please again and again.
Great, great. That's an awesome thing probably, and this would actually add a value to every organization if we actually follow the right footsteps and probably a right methods to go ahead and make sure that things are falling in place for us, right? So
Yeah.
another,
So one more thing.
yeah,
Sorry, Karthik. I'm taking a more 1 minute
no
more. But
worries.
what happens? Organizations are designed to be conservative.
Great.
Organizations are designed to be risk averse. Every CFO, every legal guy fears that my sales guy is going to do something wrong, right? But if you look at in life, we worry about things which never happen. 9 out of 10 things will never happen in life, right? So we say,
True.
go by the principle of fail fast, right? But
Okay.
try out. People who don't do anything will never fail, and then they will never, but fail fast. So let's go ahead with the deals. And I'm very happy to say that in all the deals which we did in the last 2 years, none of the deal we had to reopen and look at it whether we did the right deal, right? So
Okay.
so the finance, the legal, lot of people, and they're my great friends, nothing wrong. They get their sense of empowerment by approving. Like the project manager, मैं leave approve karunga, मैं आपका ये. So we get a false sense of power
True.
in certain things. Why you need to do
True.
that?
Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. So I have a question for your a question for Tarak actually. Tarak, so I was like considering all these factors, right? And if we see that probably there are salespeople. We probably will find salespeople everywhere, right? Even individually, are a salespeople probably bottom inside. We all are selling ourselves. But eventually, what would be the thought process probably when we are going out and selling out a sale or probably a SaaS product and any of the retail products? So what should be the mindset and the thought process? And do you feel that Agile can actually help this out on a sales probably on this front?
So I think probably we'll have to look at it in this way. So I think the conventional process of sales is completely eroded. So I think gone are the days where you would go and go to the customer and ask him, what do you need? So I think now is the time where we are to a point where you don't have this question at all. I think it is more towards this unique consultative node which brings in a lot of market research onto the table, and you have to be sounding very different from the conventional process. And then you go and say, here is what you should go with, and this is the competitive study that we have. And so largely, irrespective of the product or a service that you are up for and you are in the game of selling, I think what matters to the customers more is how is the value that you are bringing in, what is the value that you are adding in. And unless you are able to transform that process from typical mindset of asking him with open props as to what they need, if you bring on the table what they actually should go with, backed with a good testament on the study that you have or the process that you've inculcated, is how the sales is evolving, is what I feel.
Just to add to what Tarak said, and Karthik, it's my experience in the last few years, right? We go beyond selling by saying you need four resources, one analyst, one designer, one project manager, and this, and the time and material bring. There are many deals which are now happening where, as Tarak said, it's about value selling, it's about consultative, and we are saying we have done deals now where we say it's a outcome based thing. You don't need to worry about what resources I am putting, how many hours I am doing, what is the rate I am charging. I am delivering. Your vision is to get this platform out in say 6 months. We will deliver it, and it's an outcome, and we'll take a risk, we'll take a penalty, right, if that's required. And we will also break it down and say you this is the MVP. So there's this big customer who wanted to launch this product at a World 2020 Expo in Dubai, right? So we said, okay, we will help you define exactly what is that is required. We will make you successful. So give that us. And this is also an agile way. Agile is not just internally within the organization. Agile is also how you are working with the customer. How you are also telling them, if you have trusted us to be your partner, then trust us fully, right? And also one more thing everyone needs to understand is, gone are the days where the customers make the decision based on our presentations. They already have done a great research about us. Today, when a CIO, when a VP of digital, when a CFO reaches out to us, he already has done a good amount of research about us, and then he's coming to us. Now it is up to us that do we live to that faith of his initial research, by our agility, by our communication, by our references, by our solutioning, in all in the right way. Where again principles of agility, quality, transparency, communication all come into play.
Okay. So, Ashok, again, a follow-up question over here. Probably anyone from the panel can answer this question, right? The more of the question, like as you mentioned, that the customers are already have done a lot of research before you guys are going in front of the customers, right? So, do you think that a marketing kind of a term, probably, or a sales and marketing guy, probably would have worked together to make sure that we guys are reaching to the right customers? So, how do actually like what do you have a take on marketing kind of a term, because it's a new term actually into sales and marketing. So what does marketing mean for you people?
I would like to take this up just if everyone is okay. So sales and marketing were always working hand in hand. Even if they say they are two different person or two different teams, they go hand in hand in terms of whatever you are planning to sell to your customers. There are two ways: whether they come to you or you go to them. And marketing helps you to make sure that if you go to them, in a way you are providing them with a certain type of an approach. There is industry solutions, specific domain based solutions, industry based expertise solutions. And if the marketing does not have that set of right or the key to reach to the right customer, it would not help the salesperson to get that particular lead or get that particular contact. And that is not driven, as I agree with Ashok, where he mentioned that they are coming, they already done the research, but that research comes with that smart marketing. And that is where it helps the salesperson when it is interconnected. When you are selling up a particular solution, either it's a SaaS solution or it's a product, industry product, or it's it's a small module that is helping into a big machinery, or I would say IT infrastructure. That has been smartly marketed by the marketing team in collaboration with the sales team, so that when they are approaching to you, the sales people have the right understanding. Okay, they have already reviewed certain elements of our solution. Now is the time to give them a value added solution which will help them to take it further. And that is also, as you said, marketing. It is smart marketing as well as sales and marketing combined together, where the sales and the marketing are going hand in hand. They have a clear transparency in what we are selling and what we are pitching, and this that transparency helps them to convert it into better business. At the end of the day, it's just increasing the sales for the overall organization.
Great. Anyone would like to take it up? Anyone would like to add anything on that?
Karthik, like here in a chat, I can see that R. Goel has asked one question, that while making your quotation, how do you adapt agile practices? So I'd like to answer this question, if you allow. So here, what I can see is, as Mr. Ashok Karania says, that creating a war room, giving a access, making it transparent. So like, let's say the people who is responsible, ethical, and had that skill set to take this forward, we can give them responsibilities and freedom to take it forward. So like, let's say for example, if there is any requirement, something where if I'm capable enough to give a quotations, go ahead, right? So this is what the agile gives a freedom and responsibilities to take it on your own and go ahead. And this practice definitely in terms of the quotation will work. So if in your team any specific people has a capability to drive the entire conversations or specific lead or a suspect prospect, then give that responsibilities and freedom, and I'm pretty much sure that it will work. Thank you.
Great, thank
So,
you.
so just
So,
to add on top of
any
this,
other time? Yeah, please go ahead,
yeah,
Tarak.
right. So I think it is about empowerment. The system, the process facilitates that empowerment across the stakeholders. I think that is a key versus the method that you usually have a set of people that are involved or who are involved in the typical quotation part. So I think agile enables this transparency and this data flow. So I think when we talk about exposure of this data, which is very critical for anybody to be able to assess the given set of needs, requirements, what we are sort of estimating. If it is transparently across all the boards or the stakeholders, this definitely adds value when you have a great picture of what the solution is looking like.
So
Yeah,
Ashok,
and sales and marketing. Yeah, sales and marketing don't need to have a love hate relationship. It could be love relationship only, because end of the day the objectives are very same, right? Marketing likes to say that we are about brand building, we are about a lot of other things, but at the end of the day it's about business, right? As we say, the job of a great ad is to not win a Cannes gold. The job of a great ad is to get business, right? So similar approach works, and there are a lot of things we can talk about, but maybe in the interest of time we can have it as a follow-up question. Marketing is a big field, right? And it's now wholly integrated field, right? It's always together, and thanks to the digital, thanks to the tools like HubSpot, the marketing analytics, the lot of things which are happening. Both the sales guy needs to know the marketing lingo, the marketing guy needs to know how the sales work. So very integrated approach happening nowadays, and very critical. And as I said, it's a subject by itself.
awesome. So again, a follow-up question over here for the panelist. Like, how could be the team structure when we are actually planning to build? Because I'm sure that there would be a people out who would be hearing these recordings when it is out on YouTube or anywhere. So if the people are of a mid-sized organizations, entrepreneurs are targeting to build up a sales and marketing team, what could be the team structure of that particular business vertical, and how they can have a productive team? Probably the team size would be very small initial level because whenever they are actually starting up a business, when they are startups or a mid-sized organizations, right, the team size would be very small. So how can actually that particular team be more productive, though there are only like n number of people? There are not n number of people, there are only 2 to 3 people into the sales and marketing. So how they can actually probably take it from there?
Yeah.
So
So I'll just take an attempt. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah, so
Yeah.
go ahead, please.
Mm. No, I'll just take 30 seconds, right? So I think I don't look at the people per se, Karthik. What I would look at is, what is the type of sale you're doing? Is it an enterprise sale? Is it a mid-market sale? Is it a digital sale? Is it a platform sales? Okay, one. Second, the team size would be, I would look at it as, what are the functions you need to do? Any sales and marketing area, one is about communicating and interacting with the customer prospect. Second is lead generation, demand generation. Third is the actual sales cycle, and fourth is the customer and relationship management. Right, so there are 3 4 aspects of the whole sales process. So when you are small, you would have some people doing a multiple of these roles, right? And then you will have a small team. But as your organization grows, as your customer base grows, and as you're looking at a more and more specialist sale, your teams also will get specialists. There'll be very specific people who have that domain expertise, right? So my simple answer would be, it starts small with maybe a 3 4 people team with this diverse skill set, and then as you grow specialist, you have specific people looking into each of this. Sorry, Karthik, sorry, Kamlesh, back to you.
Yeah, so as Ashok, you said, like, the diverse skill set. So that's what the actual crux of the questions answer. So uh, with a small teams, if uh, we should not go with a process or a specific skill set, but we should be very open. So if someone can do a multitasking, go ahead. Like we can that way, definitely with a small teams we can achieve a desired and big results. So not bound with any specific skills, make it open and let them perform. So that should be the agile way, with a small teams, and for especially for a startups and small businesses.
Great, great, great. So we have actually a couple of questions from the audience. So how do you train your clients to use Agile in marketing? Also, which approach you follow? Scrum or Kanban? Is there anyone who would like to take it up? Ashok?
Uh,
Ashok is not audible.
yeah. So first of all, yeah, yeah. First of all, I like the question, lovely question, but I'll just be a little picky. I would say you never train a customer. Okay, you influence a customer, you inspire a customer, right? Because a customer they right? So how you train a customer, or how you influence a customer, how you inspire a customer?
Yeah, in the meantime, Kamlesh or Tarak or Vishal, anyone who would like to take it up till the time Ashok is back?
Yeah, so here what I would add is, we can take the consultative approach, right? And we can like influence our client with what we want to envision and how we plan it for our customers. So this way, with our consultative approach, definitely we can convey this message in a very good manner, and also we can help them to like implement this process of agile into the marketing.
Okay, okay, good. So we have one more question from RC Goel, that what I meant about structure of quotation, meaning various clauses, transitions, and tweaking it. Tarak, Vishal, over to you guys if you guys would like to take it up this question.
Yeah, so in this is something that basically structure of quotation, meaning in terms of various clause. See, that depends upon what I'm not sure about the how the function processes and things are being done on each and every uh, company or the organization. In a structure of quotation, the standardization or tweaking that differs from policies and what are the client and organization relationship, what are your policies, those things comes first. Eventually after that, the main aspect of overall quotation is the expectation of the client and how you are able to deliver it, first of all in a verbal, in a practical or a presentable aspect, and then obviously the execution comes second in the market. So this is more kind of a subject specific kind of an approach, where that cannot be predefined, or there is no ground rule or thumb rule about it. If
Uh,
anyone would like to add something, Tarak.
Yeah, so just to add, I think it is also to do with the dynamism that we have with engagement models that we're talking about. So when you
Right.
talk about agile, I think a lot of it is also synchronized with dynamic changes and the flow that we get to see from customers. So again, then the idea is to that assessment that we'll need to make as to what engagement model that fits into not just your case but also the client's case there, and then the idea of quotation or how pricing structure or commercial perspective would fit in, subject to the model that we are choosing.
Great, great. So we have another question from Priya Ramkrishna, that what dynamics have changed you see between sales team and development team pre and post agile era? Uh, Ashok, would you like to go?
So yeah, sorry, I just think that there was some challenge. So first of all, uh, like how in a family, love is not the job of one family member. I think everyone has realized that sales is no longer the job of the sales team, right? Customer growth, business growth is not just a job of one person. So how the uh, uh, agile has really helped in the development versus the sales relationship is, again, thanks to uh, the interaction which is happening, thanks to the transparency which is happening. The developers do realize that the sales is a long sales cycle, right? It takes a lot of effort to get to a particular sales situation. So I think creating artifacts, creating knowledge base, uh, being a part of the sales cycle, appreciating the value of being in the part of the sales cycle, being early into the sales. Otherwise they would be like, get us involved only when the deal is won, don't get us involved before the deal. But now they want to be the part of the deal. They are also influencers, they are also the change maker in the sales cycle. That is what is happening, and which also helps them to prepare the organization with regard to, okay, this talent is going to be there, this particular skill set, this technology stack is happening, the customers are asking about this, these are the particular costs which are in place. So it also helps either parties to a get sensitized, b be aware of the trends before they hit the market. Third, they are also able to train their organization and their teams well before this. So this interaction definitely has helped. And again, what we also do within our organization is create for the larger development teams also in a month what we call as a knowledge sharing sessions, where what have been the progress on the other projects is also communicated back, and also the sales team also learns what is happening. So there's this communication aspect which is really, really critical. So agile in definition has helped us in a lot of this. And I already mentioned and repeating again, the war room, the repositories which we have created have been opened up for everyone, right? Especially the team leads, the delivery managers. So that also really helps us with every aspect of this.
Great,
And
great.
also, so
Okay.
like as I would like to add here, Karthik. So, but the dynamics here between this stuff will definitely get, the organization gets a good talents, hidden talents, from the development team with this change era. And also, this way we can give more opportunities to the talents, right? So
Great,
this way, not just with the technical stuffs, but they comes with a domain knowledge and commercial knowledge and more side on management knowledge as well. So so two ways: one is they get more opportunities, and another things, organization gets more talents.
great, great.
Absolutely,
So,
the best
Just
sales guy.
one,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, no, no.
yeah, just
The
one thing
best
I would
sales
like to
guys.
add.
yeah, please, Vishal, go
Okay.
ahead.
Actually the thing is, there are a lot of things that this dynamics of the sales and development team pre and post agile. One thing best about agile is when there is a in a bigger organization, whenever there are techno commercial people aligned in a team. So it's not just sales people or marketing people. There are development people from the development team also. They are a part of that the initial process, and in that, because sales is not pre-sales or post-sales, it's a continuous chain. So whenever they are in that particular process, they see the whole arc, they see the whole life cycle of completion, closure, going to the development, and eventually there is retention. So even the development team and the people associated get the feeling of accomplishment, and that helps them to even grow better. And that is how it changes the dynamics of understanding both sides of the table. It's not just previously with the older fashion, it was more out like the projects are in and the development starts and people are cribbing about whether the bad sale done and wrong commitment, and from here that from the sales side no technical advancement is there. But when when both the teams are working side by side, and as rightly mentioned, when there is the transparency comes on a lot of levels, not in terms of the quotation, the cost, the technical involvement, the complexities, the as well as what are the risk we are taking with this, and at the end of the day, after accomplishment, the fruitful outcome that we enjoy, seeing the smile of the client and all the testimonials and all the praises that comes in, that has been enjoyed by both the sides of the team. That is how the overall dynamics of the sales and marketing have changed because of agile,
Great, great. Thank
and
you
this
so
keeps
much.
evolving.
Probably, yeah. So
I,
it's
do have
probably respecting the time because we have only probably not a single minute left. We are actually done with the timings, right? So just concluding here very quickly, right? So at the benefit of times, probably Agile can add a lot of value, probably in structuring of the team. If it's always good to have a fat key structure team where people can have multiple skill sets, and probably the small organizations can run the show with the fat key team, like fat key team structures. And probably, as rightly mentioned by Ashok and rest of the team members, like war rooms are mandatory for the enterprise sales or any of the sales. When actually people gel up together, people will identify the business challenges and they'll run the show, right? As we cannot say no into a business, and at the same time we also need to satisfy the customers, right? And we have to actually break the silos of an organizations where the approvals need to get cut down. Probably not more than a two layer of approvals is needed to make sure that things are falling in place at very quick pace, and also we can address the quality of the leads as well. So this is how actually we need to manage it. And here we guys would be closing it up for sessions. I would like to thank everyone, every panelist and every audience to be part of this panel discussions, right? And I would like to thank all the panelists as well. So thank you all.